Alright, so continuing here on the 4-speed, I like to do full disclosure on what we're doing here. So I've got the underneath part, not the prettiest job here in the world. This area here is above the rear end, and it's a total pain in the rear end, literally, to work on this. So I got everywhere metal work was done, I got it seam sealed, and got it all seam sealed up in here. Again, I mean, it's not the best or the prettiest job. Again, this is kind of the best you can do without car up on the rotisserie. But most trunks, you don't have to work on this area. It's down in here. This car, again, the last part of the videos we've seen, we've got wheel well replacement, but looks pretty good. I mean, just for a undercoat, spray can undercoat job, and some seam sealer to seal up the gaps and the cracks and whatever, just like the factory used. But anyway, so that is underneath where the rear end housing will be, and that area is not seen all that much, but it's such a pain to get to it to do anything. Undercoat here sprayed on the inner wheel houses. That looks pretty good. So again, it is what it is. Without getting the car upside down, there's really no way to make that area perfect. So we'll try to do a where I can actually get to the floorboards here and here. Try to make it look a little better, or I can actually get up in there with a wire brush on a drill and scuff it up. And plus the floors are new, so they'll take that undercoat real nice and it'll lay down real nice. And I've got to make a decision on how much undercoat I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna hold off on doing too much of the undercoat until either the car changes owners or I finish it. So, and there'll be a window coming up to possibly purchase a car and then pay me to finish it. But we'll see how that goes as it progresses. But all the rust internally is fixed and taken care of. Next step here on the 4-speed car, we've got the back side of where the quarter panels go. Got them all wire wheeled and put some paint on them. This will be good enough. None of this will really ever be wet anyway, but just always want to clean and put something on this stuff. We're pretty much ready to start. I've got the body sitting on bushings. I want to put a couple of bolts in it, hold it in place. And I discovered that this tail area here is a lot worse. Thought I was just going to get away with repairing the lip, but it's actually really bad. So luckily I have a 70 Chevelle tailpiece, like I did on the other car over there. For a customer, I'm going to graft it in here and fix this lip. I also have these if I need them, but for right now, I know where the quarter is supposed to go, so I left these in place. And then we get the quarter fitted, got the gaps good around the deck lid. Probably just go ahead and saw these off, put new ones on, just cause this cleaner job that way, and I already have them. Got this side pretty much ready also. Not going to be a lot of metal on this car that hadn't been touched for some kind of issue. So definitely when you're out there shopping for cars, this is the type of stuff that people are out there selling. And like I said, I mean, I knew what I was getting into for the most part. There's always a few surprises. I didn't realize the inner wheel houses were bad on this car. But overall, I already knew, within a few pieces of metal what needed to be replaced. Problem is, if you bring it to me and you're paying me labor, all this stuff starts adding up. So got to get the car up in the air a little bit, set it on some stands, and go and start fitting these quarters. Before I weld anything, though, I'm going to hang the doors with the new hinges. Make sure we get the gaps right. Alright, so we're still making progress. I got the door hung on the car here, and got us a good gap here to work off of. So I already test fitted everything, got the wheelhouse welded on, already got it seam sealed. Got some undercoat sprayed on in areas you can't really get to from when you're trying to splatter the trunk. So got that down in there sealed. So it's looking pretty good. Got a good weld. Everything that hadn't been welded on the inner wheelhouse, we got that welded up. So we got us a strong car again. And shaping up. So of course there's a lot of seam sealing to be done. Seam sealer is bad about everything getting in it, so I'm waiting till I'm done grinding and welding and all that to seam seal all these seams, bottom and top. But that's just kind of the way it is. So anyway, that's where we're at, and this side is ready for the quarter panel. All right, so back out here on the 4-speed, we've got quarter panel going on. I wanted to mention a trick that I learned today. You're always learning something. Every time you work on something, as much metal work as I've did the last 10 years, the amount of full quarter panels I've done is not a lot compared to other things. And the quarter panels can be quite aggravating. You've got to make them lay down in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got like 8 areas here where it's got to lay down. Part of that is fitting the quarter over the wheelhouse and then welding the wheelhouse on. And all of these quarters, I end up with a little bit of a gap. You got a really good gap here to here and from here to here, but you always end up with a gap, a little bit of a finger width gap here that you have to kind of work down. And that seems to be typical with AMD, as well as having in places maybe a wee bit wide or a wee bit narrow on a trunk gap you gotta mess with. But one secret that I found today that's really gonna help me, and hopefully it'll help some of y'all out there, is I was lifting this quarter panel up and had it clear above the wheelhouse, but as I did that, it laid down into this channel a lot better. And normally I've been dealing with a gap here and have to work that in, and it huge pain. And then I noticed I would always have a bad gap here at the door. Now this could all go out the window on the next side or the next car, because every car varies just a little bit and all parts vary. But this is with no metal added or anything. I've got a perfect factory door gap from bottom to top. And I mean, if you wanted to nitpick, you could say, well, that's a little wide there, but I'm not going to mess with that. That is a beautiful gap. You go over here on this other car that hasn't been messed with. This is the other side, but you get the idea. So real happy with this door gap. This is, as far as not having to add metal to a door, this is the best I've ran into. Now again, this could all go out the window in the next car. I could get this laid down or on the other side over there, and I still have a huge gap. So, just because this ended up perfect don't mean every car is going to end up perfect. But the trick was lifting that panel up and then taking these big pliers and clamping them, and each time I did, it pulled it just a little more, and it pulled it in, and then that gap went from being like that to like that. You had a gap. If the door was shut, it almost looked that bad, and now it's tightened up. So I've got this thing tacked in place, and real happy with this. So another thing here is I use this piece of wood and this clamp to pull this area and get the trunk gap set about right. So don't pay attention to this piece here because it's not in the right position. But anyway, just wanted to show you that. Also, always have the trunk lid and the doors installed when installing full quarters. So anyway, that's where we're at. And this car is getting, by the second, is getting more and more under control. I'm getting real excited how it's progressed, and I'll show you a little bit over here on this side, but we still got to do wheel well and go through that whole process over here. But now that I learned a new trick, the dread of hanging the quarter has always been dreadful because of this, getting this to sit, and then ending up with a funky door gap. Well, now that I know the little trick how to hang it, you go up and then work it in. You know, again, you never really stop learning when you're working. There'll probably be something else down the road that I'll discover that works, and it just, you know, works better. But so anyway, that's going to conclude this video on the 4-speed, and we'll see you on the next one. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I'm almost 4,000, so thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.